What's up YouTube? Today's Kiki Acrylics video, I'm going to basically walk you through the thought process for creating my custom Eminem Venomized Funko Pop. This is a Funko I've wanted to do for a really long time, but I didn't quite have the inspiration. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do for an Eminem Funko. And I don't even remember what randomly inspired me, but yeah, so I got the idea, I found the pops I needed, and for this piece, I want to already use an established Funko hat instead of sculpting one. I wanted a really solid foundation to put his hoodie on, so I'm using the look of Eminem in the Venom music video. It's all black with a gold chain. So for this, I also decided to try a new type of Sculpey. Here you'll see I'm using basically the Super Sculpey Original, which is like a beige, semi-translucent clay. That's what I normally use. So for the hoodie, I decided to use Sculpey Primo. So very first time using this. I've never really needed colored clay before because I usually just hand paint everything I do. But for this, I wanted to try it because for the inside of the hoodie, I wanted it to be black without having to get into the crevices to paint that and risk messing up, some of my other paint progress. So you know what happens sometimes when you're trying to get your little brushes into details and it's really difficult. I wanted to save myself the trouble here. So I decided to try this just because I wanted to try it anyways and I never had a real reason to. It's the same brand. It's Sculpey, but the Primo is actually a softer, stickier clay. So it's not super sticky. It's, I don't know if that's a good description, but it does have more of a tacky feel than what I get with using Super Sculpey Original. As you'll see here, I'm wiping it down. I used a makeup sponge with rubbing alcohol to kind of get all of my fingerprints off. No matter how hard I tried, I just kept leaving fingerprints on it, so that was a weird experience for me. But yeah, I wiped away most of them and I was able to sand it down, so it's not a big deal. I probably would use a clay again, but only if it was necessary and I really needed a piece of colored clay that would be a big convenience that I didn't have to paint a certain piece. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with how the project came out. I love the simplicity of the all black outfit. I knew right away I wanted to create a Venomized base. So thinking of the Venom movie and, even the music video and the comics itself, Venom to have that kind of, those parasitic strands that just kind of creep out from everywhere. So I kind of wanted it to vibe with the video in a sense that there was a lot of city scenes out on the sidewalk and stuff. So I figured I would make some texturized concrete looking base. And then just for the sake of this video, I did use the remaining pieces of the black Sculpey Primo clay just to show you guys here so it's easier for you to see in the video how I kind of laid out the tendrils, if you will, of the Venomized base. So I just wanted it to look like it was creeping all around the sides, coming up to where Eminem is standing. I tried to give that vibe, but also I wanted to keep it kind of subtle. I didn't want it to take away from him. So I kept the tendrils kind of thin and just, place them somewhat evenly around the base. And I'm pretty pleased with it. Like I said, this was just using extra bits of the clay just to show you guys. There was no way I was going to be able to kind of paint around that. I just primed the whole thing and then just repainted them black later. But I wanted you guys to be able to clearly see in the video how I did this. And I think this was probably one of my earlier attempts at sculpting textured concrete bases, and I'm really proud of the progress there. They just keep getting better, and I'm getting better with creating more texture. Here you'll see I'm painting the chain, so it's just a little pop of gold paint used to create that. And this is, of course, all done in acrylic paints. I'm going to link all my materials in the description below, as well as my tutorials. So if this is something you want to try for yourself, any kind of Funko Pops, I have an entire tutorial series to help get you started. And even a video that I recently did that kind of breaks down my thought process when I want to create a Funko and how I go about deciding how I want to design it and what I want to use. So if you really don't know where to get started, that might be a good video for brainstorming, basically. So I'll link that all below. And basically here, you'll see I'm brushing on the primer. Some people prefer to do spray paint, and that's totally fine. I'm not really big on spray paint, and I'm kind of awful and impatient, and I don't want to leave any drippy spots or uneven surfaces, so I prefer to personally brush it on, and that'll be in the materials below. But I use Liquitex Professionals Gesso, which is basically like the primer you would use on a canvas or wooden board before you do a painting. So this is essentially what I use on my canvases and everything else. I just mix a little bit of the black with the white. You can get like a dark primer. For this, I went darker than I normally would when priming, just because it was a good base coat. And then I could just dry brush a light acrylic paint, like concrete color, that I mixed up over top of this. And by dry brushing it, it gave it a really cool weathered rock effect or weathered concrete effect. Once everything is finished, as I do with all of my Funko pieces, it is protected with a satin varnish finish. Sometimes I do gloss, mostly I do satin, and that protects it, gives it a nice coat. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithms and comment below. Let me know what you thought of this particular video. Feel free to ask me any questions about materials used or my methods in creating this. Pretty much any questions you have about creating custom Funkos. I'll make sure to link in the description below my materials used, some tutorial links to get you started with creating your own customs, my Etsy shop, Redbubble. All that will be down there in the description. Thank you so much, and I will catch you on the next video.